South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
John was the most incredible person I'd ever met. Aviation was John's love and passion. He was present as a Marine and present as a dad, as a husband. It was a normal, ordinary Wednesday for us. When I was picking up my daughter from daycare, my friend that I would carpool with mentioned that there was an aircraft that went down. In an instant, you know, your life does change. And you, especially having children, have to decide, how am I gonna do this? I got a message from a friend, and they said, there's this foundation called Tunnel to Towers. And they said on TV that they're gonna pay for your and John's mortgage. And it just felt like a frozen moment in time that I'd never forget. I'm so grateful for that.
By giving $11 a month, you're joining us on our mission to do good. Go to T2T.org. It only takes $11 a month to make a positive impact.
The field for the biggest derby of the season at Los Alamitos is set for Sunday, November 10th, the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Super Derby. The field is led by top qualifier BP Cartel Policy, as he looks for his third graded derby of the year. Plus champion filly Dark Enemy. She's going after her fourth Grade 1 win. Plus the undefeated Stanley Cartel, the outstanding Boardwalk, and the Grade 1 winner Let's Leave. It's a field of super sophomores. The Los Alamitos Super Derby, Sunday, November 10th.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the race books and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. All righty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program, coming to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at our studio station, our home base, Sports Talk 1400 AM, as well on the radio and 107.1 FM as well. But we're here at the South Point Studios at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on the Las Vegas Boulevard in your gaming capital, and of course the South Point streaming network at YouTube. And that's where you can find us right now at YouTube if you want to. And, of course, all of our websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global. We got them, iPhone, Android covered with your apps. Your KSHP app, of course, you can hear us. In the YouTube app, you can hear us and watch us as well. And, of course, anywhere you get your podcasting. But listen, we have finally arrived to the first of the two-day World Championships today. We have talked about this for months. We have talked about this for days. We have talked about this for hours. And now it is upon us. Day one of the World Championships, the Breeders' Cup, is today at Del Mar. It is Future Stars Day, featuring 5 Breeders' Cup races that'll all be for the 2-year-olds at different distances and, of course, on different surfaces. And this is only the beginning because, as you know, tomorrow, Saturday, will be the Champions Day with the other of the 14 Breeders' Cup World Championship races upon us. Tonight, here at the South Point at 6 p.m., following this afternoon's races of the Future Stars, etc., Del Mar at 6 p.m., we'll have handicappers Jonathan Hardoon and John Lindo, along with myself, in our annual Breeders' Cup seminar at the Grandview Lounge, which is right next door, adjacent to the racebook at 6 p.m., going over not only what happened on today's races, but looking ahead to tomorrow's big championship series of races. And they are here now with us in studio as well. So I want to welcome Jonathan Hardoon and John Lindo, guys. The second morning that you've been here, huh?
Yeah.
I'm ready, ready to go. I see you have Breeders' Cup purple as the backlighting here. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we got we're all Breeders' Cup ready to go. That's for sure. And it's going to be an exciting day of racing for the 2-year-olds. I understand that William Hill, the Caesars people, already have a Kentucky Derby future book out. And
they didn't even run the Juvenile.
They didn't even run the Juvenile yet. I thought that the Juvenile was supposed to be the horse that wins that is the automatic favorite for the Kentucky Derby, and it might well be. But we're looking ahead, no doubt. But there's a lot to happen first, and of course, a lot of that will be happening today. They opened Del Mar yesterday, and so the big question for all of us, since we only have one day of you talk about a barometer, something to go by on how the track might play overall for the competitors. What did you guys see yesterday at Del Mar besides a very light crowd? I can't believe they had a light crowd there yesterday at Del Mar on the eve of the big weekend. You think people would want to get out there to the races and enjoy themselves. But nevertheless, Jonathan, what did you see on the racetrack in performances that might help us as far as trying to figure out how the track's going to play?
Well, I certainly thought that you had to be inside. Inside was really the key. And obviously it was like we was talking yesterday, both John and myself, that if it was anything like the summer meet, it was going to be speed favoring, and I think it was. But the key was really to be inside and to have speed. The only winner that came from behind was the winner of the last race. He broke from the rail, and he was actually last. He's the only one that closed and came up the rail.
And he did that in the summertime too. He was the only horse the first 2 weeks of the summer meet that came from off the pace and won sprinting at Del Mar. So he obviously likes that course. But Ralph, I thought the track was extremely similar to what we saw during the summertime. So if you kept your notes, inside was good. If you've got tactical speed, the inside, that's better. But it didn't look like horses sitting out wide were going to loop the horses up front and get the job done.
And conversely, Ralph, by the way, the turf course, I think you were able to come from anywhere, John.
Oh, absolutely,
The turf course was really even, not like the main track.
Well, Jonathan, you gave us the winner of the very first race of the meet. In the first race, Navajo Warrior gets the job done. Bet down from 7-2 on the morning line. Gets the win, though, at 540 for Tim Yakteen. And that old jock, apprentice jock, Carmona, Serafino
Carmona. Yeah, he was the leading rider at Del Mar for about half
an hour. Yes, 30-something years old, but he got the job done there, and he gave the horse a good ride too. I was watching the race.
He was intimidated a little bit by the horse outside of him. He was smart. He took back and came around him, and that made the difference.
Yeah, so that gave us a winner right off the bat. As far as the pick six was concerned, we started out with a $4.80 winner for Mark Glatt and Antonio Fresu. Peter Miller came up with a huge win on the 1 mile turf race for 2-year-old maidens with Game Warrior. Ricardo Santana aboard there paid $64.80 and killed off a lot of pick six tickets and certainly limited the early pick five start, that's for sure. Then the seventh race came along, Lonesome Stew, who went off at a price of 7-1. I can't believe it was 4-1 on the morning line. He went up instead. You and Jerry both liked that horse. Gave it out on the show. We got a good housekeeping handicappers approval on this, John. And the horse pays $16.80. Thank you very much for Fresu's and Glatt's second win together yesterday. Lonesome Stew, and he went gate to wire. And then we had the Let It Ride Stakes, where King of Gosford came off the pace at a mile on the turf for Flavian Pratt and Phil D'Amato on the turf again. $5 even as the favorite there, outrunning Heart-Headed and British Isles. And then, of course, the last race, Kahuna Magic off the rail from behind, wins at 6.5 furlongs on the main with Rispoli and Sharifs getting together for that one. Pick six yesterday. $81,385.70. One winner, I guess.
Solo ticket yesterday.
Yeah. So all in all, as you say, it looked like to be on the main track, you have to be on the inside and close to the lead for it. But yet now I understand. Which one of you guys were saying that you talked to somebody that the tractors, the maintenance crew was out there at early, 10
o'clock
late last night.
Well, Ray Pollock from the Pollock Report posted on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, a photo from 10 o'clock last night where it's pitch black, the lights are on by the track, and the tractors are on the track. So, it's not that it's unusual. They do maintenance work at night at the racetracks in California, but it's the first time I've seen a picture of it at that time of night. So that was pretty interesting.
10 o'clock at night,
Who's
pretty
there
late.
watching
Yeah,
the
right.
tractors?
Yeah. In any case, we'll wait and see if those tractors had anything to do with changing the shape of the bias on the racetrack for today. But today, of course, we have the 5 Breeders' Cup Future Star races. I know we went over these races with our other handicappers on the special show we did on Wednesday night. But for those of you who might have been watching a World Series game instead, we will. I'll ask you guys to kind of recap what you guys did then a little bit later on the show today. Aqueduct yesterday, pick six paid $74,066.50 with winners that paid $36 even, $7.90, $3.10, $6 even, $11.40, and $20.60. So that got the job done there. And as far as any accomplishments yesterday at the track, it looked like everybody kind of had a winner apiece over the day. at Belmont at Aqueduct. And as far as Churchill Downs was concerned, boy, Tyler Gaffalione continues to stay hot in Kentucky. He won 4 races in a row. He won the 4th race at $11.80, the 5th race at $3.54. And by the way, Jonathan, your horse, the pick that you had there, should have caught that horse, but didn't. He just came up a little bit too late. Your pick there ran second. And then Gaffalione won the 6th race at $6.60 with Rodolphe Brissett, who's having a good meet as well. And then Al Stahl gave him his 4th win in a row in the 7th race, paying $6.04. So all in all, that was, Gaffalione kind of was the guy at Churchill Downs yesterday. But the hunch bet of the day came in at Churchill Downs yesterday. The hunch bet of the day. The 9th race winner, Count Dracula, on Halloween for Brian Hernandez and Kenny McPeak, paying $12.36. You had to have that.
And the range came in the middle of the day. The skies opened up. They ended up taking races off the turf. The track turned wet in a hurry there, and part of the game, I guess.
Now, John, of course, you talked to your connections there with the tractor at 10 o'clock at night. Any scuttlebutt of anything going on in the mornings with these horses that we should know about?
No, there's really no late changes today. There is a scratch from the Filly and Mare Sprint on Saturday. Pandora's Gift won't run. That was the only change that I had from the time we were done with the show yesterday to this morning. So it's been relatively quiet, that's a good sign.
That's a good news stuff. Yeah. That's no doubt about that. That's good news.
Still early. Be careful.
That's
Don't
right.
get too excited.
I don't want to jinx it. So,
Mr. This guy loves Heisa. That's for sure. Well, let's take a look at the weather that's going to happen over there at Del Mar. It was nice today. They expect 66 degrees as a high. The overnight low at 54. Little 5% chance of rain. They just stuck that in there, the Weather Channel did. It's going to be partly cloudy, though, with the sun bursting through once in a while. But more importantly, as is today, on Saturday, the big day, tomorrow, they're expecting, again, 66 degrees, which is a nice weather for racing. And it's going to be cloudy, and they still say it's going to be, has 21% of precipitation, but that 21% of precipitation might be just a little bit of a mist, don't you think?
Sprinkle.
Yeah.
They're not expecting anything heavy, so I'm just going to assume we're fast and firm and everything's good.
Yeah. Let's assume that. Let's worry about what those tractors did at 10 o'clock at night rather than what Mother Nature might do. That's for sure. All right. Well, we're just getting started with our show this morning, and we're going to highlight the 2-year-olds, as I said. Want to make you aware of a couple of things left. Now, I'll tell you again one more time. The seminar is going to be tonight here at the South Point in the Grandview Lounge at 6 o'clock, and we'll go over what happens later on today, and, of course, more importantly, what we predict that might happen on Saturday with all those big races. The Grand Ballroom will be open today here at the South Point for the first day of the Breeders' Cup, okay? It will be open. I think the doors open at 9 o'clock. And tomorrow, the big viewing party is tomorrow. The doors will again open at 9 a.m. in the Grand Ballroom. Big banquet tables. We were talking about it yesterday. These tables are big enough to seat 8 to 10 people. You got plenty of room to spread out all your handicapping paraphernalia and get some of those great food and drink specials they're going to have up there. And, of course, the betting windows will be there, the big bank of betting windows. You'll have kiosks up there as well if you like to bet through a kiosk. And they're going to give a prize giveaways. Steve Johnson, the racebook director here, said on our show the other day, they're going to be giving away prizes there as well in the Grand Ballroom on Saturday. And big, huge theater screens that you can watch the horses, etc. They'll also have a few smaller TVs around for the other racetracks that are running that day. In case you want to make a bet, you can do that up there as well. It's not only for the Breeders' Cup, but all of the action that's happening tomorrow as far as the races across the country. And so we ask you to come on out and join us. John and Jonathan will be there. We'll be there playing the races, trying to make money with you. And we'd be happy to talk to you. And if you want to come by and say hi, that's fine. We'd love to talk to you and see you. And that'll be here at the South Point. Everything is free. It's all free of charge, including the seminar tonight, and your car can park for free as well. All righty. We're going to go to our first break, and when we come back, we'll set the menu and the races for today, and then get started with taking a look at all of these races. So we're here at the South Point Studios, South Point Hotel Casino on Las Vegas Boulevard, and at YouTube. If you're joining us on YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, do so. Please subscribe. It's free. Not a big deal. It's free. Subscribe. But when you subscribe, then you can get into the chat room and start chatting away. And I do have a few questions from a few chatters along the way. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas for Breeders' Cup Day 1. Future stars of the great sport of kings on display today, and the Breeders' Cup races, 5 of them for 2-year-olds. We'll get into that in just a moment, but I want to remind everybody out there, we do have other racing going on today, and so let's get started with the, by the way, let's take a look at the weather across the country. Looks pretty good across the country, really. They got some rain coming up in the northwest. Northwest got rain and snow, as a matter of fact, in places of Washington and Oregon. Otherwise, it looks pretty good across the country as far as any of the racetracks are concerned with racing conditions. As far as the weather is concerned, New York City is going to be 79. We're only going to get up to 71 today, so New York is warmer than we are right now. The hottest spot in the nation, believe it or not, is Miami at 83. Phoenix jumped in. They got 82 degrees. And down in Southern California, 73 degrees. Chicago is 55. All right, let's get started with the racing menu. And we remind you, as we always do, the first post times we broadcast on this racing menu each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone. So if you're in the Pacific time zone, and of course you'll be here along with us, here in the Racebook, we are in the Pacific time zone. Everybody else out there, if you're in another time zone, wherever you're at, adjust from the Pacific time zone, because believe it or not, that's the first post times that we broadcast on this menu every day. Pacific time zone first post times. Don't want you to miss anything like I miss Mom. Okay, here we go. We begin with Gulfstream Park. Gulfstream Park has their Pick 6 jackpot carryover today at $13,087. They've got 10 races today. The 10th and final race will be the feature, the $95,000 Sellers Shiraz Stakes. 14 are in there before any scratches. And number 12, Beep Verde, I should say, is the 9-5 favorite with Drayden Van Dyke aboard. That first post time at Gulfstream is at 9 a.m. Laurel Park will kick in next. Their first post time is 9:25 for 9 races today at Laurel. And then next comes Belmont at Aqueduct. Belmont at Aqueduct has a first post time today of 9:40 of Belmont at Aqueduct today. The $135,000 Atlantic Beach Stakes is their feature race, 6 furlongs on the outer turf for 2-year-olds. A field of 9 before scratches. I'm sure that probably the 9 will get out of there because it's a main track only. But in the race, in the body of the race, really it's a competitive field. Super Swift is sitting there at the morning line favorite at 5-2. 9 races today at Belmont at Aqueduct, and then again, first post time is at 9:40. Churchill Downs, we'll see what the track is like today at Churchill. A lot of rain there yesterday. 10 races today at Churchill, and a first post time at Churchill Downs will be at 10 a.m. The Pick 6 jackpot carryover there, 2-day Pick 6 jackpot carryover now stands at $40,069. First post time at Churchill is at 10 a.m. All right, and then next comes Woodbine. I should say Woodbine is the first post time of 8 races at 10-10. Woodbine has a pick 6 jackpot carryover of $28,404. First post time is 10-10 for their 8 races. And then, of course, we go to Del Mar, Breeders' Cup Day, Del Mar, Breeders' Cup Stars of the Future. First post time is 11:35. The first Breeders' Cup race will be the 6th race on the card. It'll be the Juvenile Turf Sprint for 2-year-olds, followed by the Juvenile Fillies for 2-year-olds, then the Breeders' Cup Fillies Turf for 2-year-olds, then the Breeders' Cup Juvenile for 2-year-olds, and the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf will be the last race on the card, the 10th on the card. That Breeders' Cup Juvenile is going to be one heck of a race. First post times on day 1 of the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar is set at 11:35. 11:35 there at Del Mar. And then comes Pleasanton. Pleasanton races, 8 races there today. First post time is at 12:30 at Pleasanton. They have a super high 5 carryover there of $5,811. Next comes Delta Downs. Delta Downs has a first post time of 2:50 for their 9-race card. Penn National will kick in with 7 races. Penn National's first race post time is at 3:15. Charlestown. Charlestown has a nice pick 6 jackpot carryover there of $28,658. 8 races, first post time 4 p.m. And then we wrap it up with Remington Park. 9 races at Remington. First post time is at 4:30. And here at the South Point, if you want to play the Australian races from down under, there will be 3 Australian racetracks later on this evening that you can play right here at the South Point. So there you have it. There it is. All right, gents, it's time. Let's get to work for Del Mar, and of course the 2-year-olds and the Breeders' Cup. First 2-year-old race of the day for the Breeders' Cup is the 6th race. It's at 5 furlongs on the turf, and we have a late scratch in the 1 horse out on bail. And you'll have, 13 left to go in the 5 furlong turf race. Any more scratches, John?
Haven't heard any scratches yet. Smash It is entered in that spot. He's also entered in a different race coming up. So I'm not sure if haven't got anything yet from the wires whether there's scratches yet.
A couple of things I wanted to mention. First, that post time there today will be 2:45 Pacific time. That'll be the first of the Breeders' Cup races. And by the way, wanted to give a quick note about the seminar tonight. If people can't make it here at the South Point, like we have folks in other time zones, et cetera, and across the country, they can get that on the internet as well, streaming, right?
Right, southpointcasino.com. You go to the sportsbook page on the South Point website. There's a banner there about the seminar. You just click on that, and that'll lead you to the simulcast. It'll have the video. You can go to South Point Studio. They'll be showing it there on YouTube. My show in Los Angeles, Thoroughbred LA, our website, thoroughbredla.com, same thing. There's a banner on the homepage. You can click on that. We're going to go right around 6 p.m. tonight in Pacific time and get through the races tomorrow.
All right. You got it, gents. All right. Now let's start taking a look at the races today. We've got that Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. That'll be the first race on the docket for Breeders' Cup races. 6th race on the card, 2:45 p.m. Pacific time. Scratch the 1. How do you see it?
Go ahead, John.
Well, I like the number 8 horse in here. This is one of the Japanese horses that we're going to see a lot of in the next couple of days. The horse's name is Corsige, I guess, something like that. The horse is 2 for 2, and he's been extremely impressive in both of them. It's really a wide open race after that. You can make a case for a lot of horses, but I went to the 8 horse in here.
Yeah, I think the Euros are pretty evenly matched. The horses like Asterius, Big Mojo, Whistle Jacket, and Ides of March. I'm with you. I like the Japanese horse. He was super impressive winning in 107 over there as a 2-year-old. And the thing about him, Ralph, is that he was purchased at Ocala in Florida in March. So he's been trained U.S. style. He's been over U.S. racetracks, the tight turns. So I think he has more experience than you would have the normal shipper coming from overseas. So I like a Koro Sagan here. I hope he runs like he did in his last start. It would be a really good start for the Japanese contingent.
What about any of the American 2-year-olds that are in this race?
Well, I thought Governor Sam had a shot, and he's a price. He's listed at 12-1. Yeah, you know, he hasn't done anything wrong. He's won 4 races out of 5 starts, and he keeps getting better with each start. So That was the one that I liked out of the American horses.
And a nice price at 12 to 1 on the morning line.
Yeah, he'll be part of that pace, and it's going to be hot. They're going to be rolling
They're
early.
gonna be moving.
Yes.
And if we're going to take that horse, the Japanese horse, that's 7 to 2 on the morning line, well, a lot of people liking that horse might get down to about 5 to 2, 2 to 1. We can make some exotics happening with some of these long shots, and Governor Sam might be one of them. That's for sure. All right, now we get to the 7th race, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, for 2-year-old fillies, obviously, at 1 mile and 16th. Post time is 3:25 today. These are all Pacific start times. Scratch the 7 non-compliance, which was one of the competitors in this, one of the really horses that a lot of people liked in this race, but the non-compliant will not comply and has been scratched. So we have a field of 9 left to go. And how do you guys see this race?
Well, the way the track played yesterday at Del Mar, I think it gives a little bit bigger edge to number 3, Immersive. This is a Brad Cox filly who has already proven 2 turns, won the Alcibiades nicely, sat in traffic, finished up, and galloped out well. She's not going to have any problem with the distance. We know that. She's drawn inside where she doesn't have to have the lead. She can settle into a spot stalking from the inside, and that seemed to work just fine yesterday at Del Mar. She's the one to beat in here for me. The way the track played yesterday, I think works against number 10, Scottish Lassie. We'll have to see if they can work out a trip from there. Quick Kick followed Immersive home at Keeneland. I think she's got a chance in there as well.
And she's at 10 to 1 on the morning line there. And Scottish Lassie, who is actually the 5 to 2 morning line favorite. And again, we got to remind everybody out there, the Breeders' Cup asked line maker Jeff Siegels to make the line on the horses before they did the draw. So he had no idea of putting the equation in of the post position in relations to the distance of the race before they drew the race. So he made this horse at 5 to 2 on the morning line, but you say this could be a favorite that could be easily beat. Jonathan?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally unfair to ask a person to make a morning line without knowing post position.
Right,
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It really is. And this horse is totally up against it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you want to bet against the 10 here. I agree with John. Immersive is certainly the horse to beat here. But there's an interesting price horse here, number 1, Vodka with a Twist. Irod Ortiz is going to climb aboard today for the first time, and the rail yesterday was really the place to be. And this horse is a big price. She's going to be forwardly placed. I don't know if she could beat Immersive, but I certainly would use her, especially at the price.
And in the exotics as well. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, in-race exotics, the exactas and trifectas, etc. All right, the next race is the 8th race on the card. It is the Breeders' Cup Fillies on the turf. At 1 mile on the turf. This is an oversubscribed field of 17. We know there's not going to be 17 in the race. The also eligibles, John?
The 15 on down. I'm sorry.
No, there's 15, 16, 17. They've been re-entered in different races. I don't know if they're running or not. They're just hoping to get in today, but we don't have the scratches yet.
All right, so we'll just leave them as, and they're all 30 to 1 on the morning line, so we'll just leave them as horses that if they make the race, so what?
Yeah.
The big favorite in this race is the 1 horse, Lake Victoria, 8 to 5 on the morning line with Ryan Moore, and of course, this is one of those Europeans.
Yeah, and it's Aidan O'Brien, and this horse is 4 for 4 lifetime. Out of all the short-priced horses on the card today, I think this is the most likely winner if you're looking for chalk. I mean, he's breaking from the...
Well, we're not looking for chalk.
I'm just saying, for people that want single short-priced horses,
there you go.
This would be the one to single. I'm saying, I mean, she's 4 for 4, and Aidan O'Brien, Ryan Moore, breaking from the rail. She just looks like she's going to be tough in this spot.
Concur, John?
Absolutely. Aidan O'Brien has many races as he's won, especially and with 2-year-olds and all the shippers from Europe. He says this is the best 2-year-old he's ever brought here. This is a 2-time Group 1 winner already. She's probably going to be the champion in England. He doesn't bring his A-list horses here in general, and he does well. Well, he's got the A-list horse here. And like you say, inside post, you got the right rider. Barring a terrible trip, she's going to be awful tough to beat.
Well, I know that we've been getting some requests from not only the people on the chat, but I've also gotten some people who have contacted me through the other means that we have technology. And one gentleman in particular asked me, he said, ask the handicappers if they had one horse that they liked the most, the one horse that they liked the best. And I think guys might have just told them about Lake Victoria.
Yeah, I mean, Looks clearly the best, Ralph.
Yeah. Now, we're not talking about, looking. I would personally ask, what is the best long shot you guys have to give us? And I will ask that, but for the purposes of answering his question, Lake Victoria probably would be the horse. But there's a lot of meat on the bones as far as building exactas and trifectas. So outside of Lake Victoria, Thought Process is the only other horse with a morning line that's less than 10-1 in this race. I hate to get the exacta from A to B, but does it look that way?
She's probably the one to beat as far as filling out the exacta. You mentioned a price horse for the exacta. Take a look at number 12, Mayday Ready. She just had a nightmare trip last time at Keeneland. Everything went wrong, and she still got up and won by a nose. She's won over 4 different turf courses. She's overcome trouble. She's seasoned, and the way the track played yesterday, where you can make a late run, that's going to suit her style. At 20-1, maybe she gets a chance to get involved in that exacta.
I got a 30-1 shot for you to use here, Ralph. Number 3, Coretto, 2-year-old filly from the Graham Motion Barn. She broke from post 10 and post 11 in her first 2 starts, and they were both very tough post positions to run well from, and she ran very well. She's 30-1 on the morning line. Now she draws inside. I'll be using that horse underneath.
That's what I want to hear. If we're going to take Lake Victoria and put her in the winner's circle, let's try to turn chicken feathers into chicken soup. So we got the 1 Lake Victoria. We're going to just give her the race. And Coretto, the 3-horse, and the 12 Mayday Ready at big prices could be nice horses to round it out, along with the Thought Process. If you got to throw her in there, you got to. All right. Now we get to the 9th race. I'm going to skip the 9th race because that, to me, is the marquee race of not only today, but could be the marquee race of the entire Breeders' Cup. I'll explain that in just a moment. But we'll go to the 10th and final race then at 5:25 post time. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf at a mile on the turf. Scratched 14, 15, and 16 in the race. So there'll be 13 still left to go as of now. And the favorite in the race is New Century at 5-2 with Murphy aboard.
Go ahead, John. I want you to go on this one.
Oh, you want to hear what he's got to say first, huh?
You got any ideas?
You have the right idea. I have the wrong idea. I went to number 4, Alcadra, but John's going to make a much better case for me than I can. I'm not going to talk for him, but I like the 4-horse here, Alcadra. You know, again, it's a very hard race, Ralph. I don't like the favorite, New Century. He's coming off of a big top, and I would play against that horse, especially from the 11 post going a mile. I went to the 4 Alcadra, but again, to me, no strong conviction here. I think it's a wide open event.
John?
Well, in a wide open race again, I'm looking to Aidan O'Brien. The thing about this race, Ralph, is a lot of the contention drew bad posts. You've got New Century in post 11, Amori City post 12, and the horse I like, Henry Matisse in post 13.
Wow.
They fiddled with this horse last time, put the blinkers on. He got a little bit rank, and it was on a soft turf course that I don't think he liked. They pulled those blinkers right off. He's galloped well, since he's gotten to the U.S. here at Del Mar. And this is a horse that's a lot more talented than I think you see in the last couple of past performances. Again, they wouldn't bring this horse over if they didn't think he had a shot. And if you can catch this jockey-trainer combination of 6 or 8-1 or something like that, that's value to me. I like him in there. Amori City, interesting. He's the other Charlie Appleby horse, and their go-to rider, William Buick, opts for that horse, even though he rode Al Quadra last time at Woodbine. So that tells me that maybe, that might be as well meant, if not better meant than the other one. And I know overseas he was getting bet in the British bookmakers over there in this race. So it looks to me like he's live in this race.
We do know one thing. Henry Matisse, breaking from post 13, is going to have to work out a trip going into that first turn. I mean, otherwise he'll be in the hot dog stand. However, Ryan Moore has been very good on the American turf courses with horses and saving ground and getting trips. So you got that working for you. I would think that I don't think he's going to try to make the lead from the outside. I think he's going to get out of the gate, get his feet under him, and then try to weave over and see if he can get in a spot and not have to wait and get all the way to last before he finds the rail and try to work his way into. I think his race is going to be won or lost in the first eighth of a mile.
And that's where you depend on a guy like Ryan Moore, and you take the blinkers off. He's not going to show speed today. They're gonna grab him and get him covered up European style.
Yeah, I would think so. All righty. Now we get back to the ninth race. The ninth race is going to be post time at 4:45. It is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile for 2-year-olds at 1 mile and 16th. As we stated already, one property, Caesars, already has a Kentucky Derby future book based on a lot of the horses that are running in this race, and one of the horses that are running in this race is already the Derby future book favorite, at least for now, in the early going. However, most of the time, it's almost official but unofficial, really, that the winner of this race becomes the Kentucky Derby future book favorite as soon as they mark the race official. But this race is deep in contention, folks. You've got East Avenue. You've got Getaway Car. Ferocious is still trying to live up to his price tag of being an expensive horse that was bought at sale. Jonathan's Way, which had a huge race, not only in a race where he was left at the gate and won, but his last race as well. And then you got Chance McPatrick, who, by the way, is that Kentucky Derby future book favorite right now at Caesars, breaking from post 10 at 1 mile and 16th. Gentlemen, go at it, because I want to hear your opinions.
Well, Chancer McPatrick is certainly up against it, Ralph. He's breaking from the outside. He has no early speed. So to play him as the favorite, I mean, I see the one is 5-2 on the morning line, and he really has a big advantage. He's speed from the rail, and he's been around 2 turns already. Gave a slight edge to Jonathan's Way, the 5. I loved both of his first 2 races. The trainer is terrific, and I just think he's getting better. Take nothing away. Like you said, you can make a case for a lot of horses in this race, but I think you really want to go against Chancer McPatrick at a short price because he's up against the track. He really is, unless those 10 o'clock tractors change things around.
Well, by the time we get to 4:45 this afternoon and put 8 races already in the book, we should be able to figure it out. Right. But in any case...
we're basing it on what we've seen so far.
Yeah. East Avenue, by the way, had a nice, solid race at Keeneland in his last race, the Breeders.
Yeah, I've got no knocks on East Avenue at all. He's a big, good-looking horse, and mentally he's there. He's mature. From the rail, he's got another advantage in that he's got speed. He doesn't have to have the lead, I don't think, but he's going to come out of there running. No knocks except the price. He's going to be favored, and the way he looks and has looked this week on the track, he's going to get bet. I'm with John. I like Jonathan's Way a little bit because he's an improving horse. He's already overcome trouble in his debut at Saratoga. Mm-hmm. He stretched out to the 1-turn mile at Churchill Downs. He's ready to go 2 turns. Phil Bauer is a terrific trainer. And at 9-2, to me, he's the value of the race. If you're betting based on value, that's the play.
Okay, there you go, folks. You got a seminar of today's 5 races. Later on tonight at 6 o'clock in the Grandview Lounge, we'll get that seminar for tomorrow's championship races right here with our handicappers, Jonathan Nardoon and John Lendo. All right, guys, we got to make some money today, though. So we need to get your picks right now for today's races. And, Jonathan, I'll let you go first.
All right, first race we're going to look at is Belmont Park, race number 5, 6 furlongs on the outer turf course. And I love the number 6 horse in here, Panache, a 2-year-old filly from the Sherry DeVoe barn. Angel Serpa aboard to ride. This horse is listed at 5-1 on the morning line. 2 races on the turf, and she's run very well in both of them. Graduation day today for number 6, Panache, in today's 5th race out at Belmont at Aqueduct.
All right, 5th race, Belmont at Aqueduct. The final race in the early pick 5 and early pick 4, number 6, Panache, the 6 in the 5th race at Belmont at Aqueduct. Do you have anything at Churchill, or you want to go right to Del Mar?
No Churchill today. We're going to Del Mar. Look at race number 4, Mile on the Turf. And number 2, Smash It, who was entered in one of the Breeders' Cup races, but I think she's going to scratch. I think he's going to scratch because he's on the AEs. Mm-hmm. This horse is 10-1 on the morning line. Tried turf last time for the first time and ran very well. He's really never run a bad race. He stretches out today. He'll handle the distance. 10-1 on the morning line.
Whoa.
Number 2, Smash It, wins today's 4th race out at Del Mar.
All right, the 4th race is the Aftercare Alliance Stakes. They have other stakes races before we get to the Breeders' Cup races. He is number 14, by the way, in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, and expected, as you say, to scratch and go in this race, the fourth race on the card. Number 2, Smash It in the fourth race there. All right, Mr. And by the way, Jonathan Ardoon has his selections for a full sheet for Aqueduct. Of course, Del Mar with the Breeders' Cup today. And he does have one at Churchill at his website, right?
JONHARDOON.com.
All right, there you go. John, you're next.
I'm going to the second race today. That's the Ken Matty Stakes, five furlongs on the grass at Del Mar. I like number 4, Twirling Queen. This filly had tried the Raven Run on the dirt at Keeneland. She hated the dirt. Throw that race out. And two turf sprints. She's won them both. Beat good fillies. And she's tactical. There's a ton of early speed in here. I think she sits in the pocket just behind the leaders, and she can make the last run. 6-1 on the program. Number 4, Twirling Queen. Race number 2, Del Mar.
All right, second race at Del Mar. Ken Matty Stakes at 5 furlongs on the turf. You like the 4, Twirling Queen, the 4 in the second race at Del Mar. Don't forget, John Lendo's Lendo Report for today at Del Mar. The full Lendo Report is available right now here at the South Point in the racebook, free of charge. Again, it's free of charge, complimentary here at the South Point. John Lendo's Lendo Report for Del Mar today. And because they love horse players here. Simply that simple. That's all. All right. We are going to go to a break. We're going to come back with Rich Eng standing by, so don't go away. We'll be back on this Friday Breeders' Cup Day Race Day show.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grandview Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grandview Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby.
The field for the biggest Derby of the season at Los Alamitos is set for Sunday, November 10th, the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Super Derby. The field is led by top qualifier BP Cartel Policy, as he looks for his 3rd graded Derby of the year. Plus champion filly Dark Enemy. She's going after her 4th Grade 1 win. Plus the undefeated Stanley Cartel, the outstanding Boardwalk, and the Grade 1 winner Let's Leave. It's a field of super sophomores. The Los Alamitos Super Derby, Sunday, November 10th.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Alrighty, back on the Race Day Las Vegas Breeders' Cup Day 1 Race Day show. We now go out to Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning, John. Good morning, viewers, and good morning, listeners.
Well, all I got to say, you are probably working very hard, because you did yesterday, to get all those Breeders' Cup Day 1 forms out to all the places, and ditto for today for tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I stay up late on weekends like this for the Triple Crown editions and the Breeders' Cup editions. Make sure the printing presses are okay. The hauler gets them in from Los Angeles, and our delivery goes out. So everything looked real smooth last night. So the Saturday form should be in the books as we speak.
Well, we had winners from all of our handicappers yesterday. Jerry J. and John Lindo landed a nice winner for us. So did Jonathan Hardoon. And you gave us a winner in the NFL. It was an ugly win, but we get the cash, the bet, when the Jets finally covered. But boy, that game was a game perfect for Halloween night. That's for sure.
It was an ugly football game, Ralph. And, a few weeks ago, we talked about Luan Machado when he pulled up before the finish line. And I equated it to when a football player drops the ball before he crosses the goal line. Well, we saw that last night on what was going to be the Jets' first touchdown. The poor kid drops the ball on the 1-yard line, and the Jets lose the touchdown as it rolls out of the end zone.
And that at the time they really needed it, but they did get the enough points, and they did cover anyhow. So no harm, no foul for the gamblers there, except for maybe the gamblers that took the over in the game, because that would have added another 7 points to it.
Yep.
But nevertheless, you cannot explain how dumb that looked.
Ralph, I put a tweet out after the play. I said, how heavy does a football weigh? You can't cross the goal line with the football in your hands, in your arms? Like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
I mean, my goodness. And he had to be really embarrassed in front of all those people. After the Yankees losing the way they did in the World Series, I'm surprised he didn't get tarred and feathered on the way out the door by the fans. But they got the win anyhow, and that's what counted. Now, you have your special edition of your handicapping sheet for the Breeders' Cup today for races, and tomorrow at the racedaylasvegas.com website, along with your selections for all the races today at Del Mar at the Race Day.
Yeah, I did 6-page reports available at the racedaylasvegas.com website, Ralph. So they're up and ready to go.
All right, real quick, give me your pick for today, and then I'll ask you a quick thought about the Juvenile today.
Yeah, let's go to race number 3, Ralph. It's a stakes race, the Golden State Juvenile fillies. I'm going to go way to the outside, the number 9, In the Air Tonight. 15-1 in the morning line. I don't think we're going to get that, but even if we get half, like 7 or 8-1,
Wow.
This is a landing. This horse in the Oak Leaf last time ran 4th behind 3 Bob Baffert 2-year-olds. So I don't hold it against her, because there was a non-compliant and Noonie and Tenma. But, running 4th to Baffert is not such a bad thing. Cuts back in distance. I think this horse will be grinding late. The 9, In the Air Tonight, race 3.
All right, real quick, because we're waiting to get Jerry Jackowitz on. What about the Breeders' Cup? By the way, again, I want to repeat that. Richie, 3rd race at Del Mar, number 9, In the Air Tonight. 15-1 on the morning line, folks, the 9 in the 3rd race. A thought about the Juvenile?
Well, the main thing with my selections in the Juvenile was I did not pick Bob Baffert 1, 2, or 3. I went with a lot of horses that Jonathan and John talked about. My top choice is the 1, East Avenue. I was really impressed by that race at Keeneland. Ran away from Ferocious and Filoso to win by daylight. So I think draws a great rail post. And then the other horse I went for, Jonathan's Way, was my second choice, and Chancellor McPatrick my third choice. But it's a really contentious race. Some good-looking babies in that race.
Yeah, and we can't wait until they turn 3, because you know what happens then. Hey, Rich, thanks a lot, my man. We will get your stuff at the racedaylasvegas.com website, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
All right, now we're going to go right to Jerry Jackowitz standing by, who has his Giants hat on today. At least he doesn't have his Jets hat on. Good morning, Jerry.
No, I'm not a Jets fan anymore.
All right, okay.
That was back in the days of Joe Namath.
Oh, okay. That is going a ways. All right, Jerry.
I have a funny story. I was once in a thing with Greg Buttle, and I survived. So.
Oh, that's not funny. But in any case, I guess it's funny to you. Okay, I guess
I had a lead. I had a 100-yard lead, and I was able to.
Okay, let's get back to horses. All right, you got 2 sheets today. Your power pages for Belmont at Aqueduct and at Del Mar, of course, for Breeders' Cup races there as well. We'll take a selection out at Belmont at Aqueduct and then go to Del Mar.
Sure. Let's go. Let me click over here. Let's go to the 7th today. Here's an idea. Bring me a check. Cash is better, but I'll take a check. Race number 7. We're taking number 7. Bring me a check for Michael Maker. I mean, he's just such a good turf trainer, and here we are going a mile 16th on the turf. And if you look at him, there's just really a lot to like. The horse is in very good shape. And with Katie Davis up, I bet we're going to get some nice value here. At least we'll get the 4-1. I'll take the 7. Bring me a check. Make a win place bet here. Play the 7 over the 2, 3, 5, and 8. Reverse 2, 3, 5, and 8 back over the 7. But the 7 in the 7th, easy to remember.
All right, 7 in the 7th race at Belmont at Aqueduct today. And, of course, now we'll get to Del Mar and get a selection at Del Mar.
Right. we're going to go to the 10th race.
Okay.
Juvie Turfs.
Mm-hmm.
And number 4, Al Kudra.
Yeah.
Quadra. I'll leave that up to you from Godolphin. James Doyle up for Charlie Appleby. Boy, is he a good trainer?
Mm-hmm.
Everything runs. I just love that last race up in Woodbine off the layoff. I really think he'll go forward off of that. 4-1 from a good post position. I think it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the 4 over the 2, 5, 11, 13, and 15. Do my reverses, 2, 5, 11, 13, and 15 back over the 4. But it's all about the 4 to me in the last race. The big prices all over the place, so be loose with your betting.
Well, the 15 is scratched, so you've got the 4 over 2, 5, 11, and 13. 2, 5, 11, and 13 are the hookups. The 4 is the key. That's in the 10th race, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf at Del Mar. A quick thought, Jerry. We got less than a minute, but a quick thought about the Juvenile, because that's one hell of a race.
Well, I have 3 star horses in the race. I have several shippers that are hard to make numbers on.
Mm-hmm.
My word would be spread. I, of course, like everybody else, am interested in East Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm kind of curious how good this colt might be. Let's see.
And you have 2 other star horses in the race in addition to that in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. All right, I want to remind...
I just want to say one thing real quickly, Ralph.
Uh-huh.
John and I are both very insulted that nobody bet our horse yesterday like they should have.
No, I'm not.
1680.
I got news for you, pal. I will insult you every day of the week if I can go from 4-1 to 7-1 and cash it. So there you have it, pal. Simple as that. Yes.
Well, John said to me it's 3-1. I said it's 9-5.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Well, we were all surprised at the price. Pleasantly, I add, surprised to that. That's for sure. All right, we wrap up this show on day 1 of the Breeders' Cup. Go out and enjoy the future stars, and then join us tonight in the seminar at the Grandview Lounge at 6 o'clock here, and of course tomorrow morning on the big Breeders' Cup day as well. So there's only one more thing to say, and Jerry's going to say it.
Have a great race day, everybody.
See you all at 6 o'clock tonight.